Hello, everyone. You know what time it is. It's the Pro Wrestling Show presents the AEW Ring Report. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the AEW Ring Report right here. You won't believe it. Sammy Guevara, the Spanish guy, wins AEW Gold, and you'll find out how he won AEW Gold coming up. Also, too, what is Arn Anderson doing with we can't say it here, a firearm? And why does he made the promo to Cody about that, about Cody's career going forward? And a lot of people are talking about that, heading on forward from that with him and Cody. What's going on with that? Also, too, MJF starts a new feud with this man, Darby Allin. Are we seeing the future of AEW right before our very eyes? It's possible and stuff. So all this. And two, the Dark Order remembers, and AEW fans remember Brody Lee, who was supposed to debut a year ago in the arena to be called the Mr. Brody Lee. We'll have highlights on what's going on with that. Well, all this and more when the Pro Wrestling Show presents the AEW Ring Report for Dynamite, and it starts right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show presents the AEW Ring Report. I'm your host, as always, Kendra Diggs here. Thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. Thank you again. Like I said, it's Wednesday, and you know what that means. Give us a chance. Pro Wrestling matters, and we thank you all for watching. All right, let's get to the Pro Wrestling Show AEW Ring Report. But first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling Here on Connect, and don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is caring. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here. All right, let's get started with the AEW Dynamite Ring Report here on the Pro Wrestling Show. We kick things off with this. What do we kick things off with? We kick things off with the celebration for Mr. Brody Lee, a former TNT champion. Brody Lee being celebrated by the Dark Order. Now, many of you may be known that the Dark Order are having problems with in his own. The Dark Order trying to there's a lot of disagreements in the Dark Order. Well, hopefully the legacy and the memory of Brody Lee will kind of put all that to bed. Brody Lee, I can see Brody Lee's son, -1, paying homage to his dad, and there's a great homage to him. We'll get to it later. We see this right here. Could be the future of AEW. These two men right here, Darby Allin and MJF, the arrogant here, MJF and Darby Allin, the Enigma. He's like the version of Sting and Jeff Hardy are all rolled into one. Well, Darby Allin and MJF had their little feud. And it's kind of interesting to see what's going to go forward between Allin and Darby Allin and MJF. What they gonna go with this? Darby Allin coming off from the heels from that match with FTR and with Sting, and MJF coming off from the heels from his match against Brian Jr. So it's a lot of interesting dynamic, you know, how they flow and how it go. So we'll see. Also, too, the enforcer, Arn Anderson, the head coach of the Nightmare family, gave a harsh critique to Cody and told Cody that he's having a lot of distractions, a lot of hats. Cody being a wrestler, being a executive producer, being an executive vice president, being a father. So Cody's doing a lot of hats that Arn Anderson saying he doesn't have his game on the ball, saying that Malachi Black is systematically destroying the Nightmare family, and Cody not putting his head in the game. Well, Arn Anderson talked about something like "Don't worry about me," and Arn Anderson quit and said Cody would have been so gullible to get shot or something. I mean, Cody's trying to look out for Arn. I think Arn's not doing the same. Arn's trying to play those horseman games. I like to say horseman style between Arn Anderson and Cody. What's going on? What JJ Dillon used to say. But Cody trying to respect Arn, but Arn trying to take it a little bit further than what he is. So a lot of people sent memes like this, showing Arn Anderson was just done with he was talking about, and that even got over a little bit more. So we'll see on that. Also, too, but we talked about the Dark Order. Well, we show Cody right here. Cody, so Cody's trying to do all his best right there. Cody's trying to. So there's a lot going on. On time will tell with Cody and Arn Anderson. This is, I would believe, not far from over between this. It's like this disagreement in the Nightmare family. Also, too, Adam Cole took on Jungle Boy in a match. I think this match was been saved off for a pay-per-view or something. It was a really good match between Adam Cole and Jungle Boy. Adam Cole and Jungle Boy doing maneuvers and stuff. So, like I said, Adam Cole got the win over Jungle Boy. Look for this not being far from over as well. Also, too, the Elite came out there and celebrated. And now we know the Elite, the Super Elite, whatever they want to call themselves, they're going to be in tag team action next week. Well, we know Matt Jackson and Daniel, well, I hate saying it, but Bryan Danielson, but it's like saying Daniel Bryan. I'm so used to it. Daniel Bryan will have a match on Rampage this week. So look out for that coming soon and coming shortly. Plus, too, look for that. Yeah, Daniel Bryan made the match. And that historic match between Bryan and Kenny Omega, many people are considering that being this year's match of the year. I think it will be the match of the year. All that rolled in. So look for that happening down the road. That historic match, that Dave Meltzer gave 5 stars. So kudos to Daniel Bryan and kudos to the world champion Kenny Omega. Also, too, the Dark Order. We talked about it a little bit. Well, we got John Moxley and Eddie Kingston was in a tag team match, an impromptu tag team match. They came out there and took on some jobbers. It was like a piece of cake for them when they won. So no question about it. Also, too, the Dark Order celebrating the life of Mr. Bro Lee. Bro Lee was a heavily influenced person in wrestling. Brody Lee paved the way for a lot of people to, like you see right here, Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara had a deep friendship with Bro Lee. Big E, the WWE champion, had a big friendship with Bro Lee. Bro Lee being remembered for his talents in and out of the ring. And Bro Lee led a legacy that many people would not emulate and not ever duplicate even more for Mr. Bro Lee doing what he did and trying to be himself, and his legacy will continue to live on through the annals of time. Even AEW named him one of the greatest TNT champions of all time, and he is considered one of the greatest TNT champions of all time because remember that match he had with Cody when he pinned Cody. He used that clothesline. Who couldn't forget it? And he just clothesline Cody and took the TNT championship away from Cody. It was a shock that many people didn't see coming. Bro Lee did it. And Bro Lee did it his way with his Dark Order in his corner. So the Dark Order having a lot of disagreements. You can tell Bro Lee Jr., even Bro Lee's widow, Amanda tried to get in between them, trying to tell him, hey, we got to snap out of it and come together. Coming together is what they did. So, congratulations, not really, but hopefully the Dark Order can get back into pieces with Mr. Broly leading the way in above heaven. So we'll get to that. Also too, we still had the Man of the Year, Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page with their manager Dan Lambert in their corner. Dan Lambert trying to round the truth about Jericho with that beatdown they did to Chris Jericho and Jake Hager. So you know that's coming sooner rather than later. Jericho's going to come back with something. Also, too, was women's tag team action as the lovely women Penelope Ford and the Bunny take on Anna Jay and Ty Conti. Now you tell me, Anna Jay and especially Ty Conti. Ty Conti came from WWE development system. They didn't really utilize her the way they should have, and now she is being worked. And don't believe it or not, one day she could be a future women's champion. I'm just saying down the road. So look for that happening. So Ty Conti is doing her best. So good for her. Also, too, you talked about MJF and Darby with their problems and what's gonna go forward with that. Finally, was the main event. Miro, the TNT champion, defends his championship against the number one contender, Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara taking on Miro one-on-one after with Guevara and stuff. Guevara was trying to defend his friend on for Flair del Sol after he got beat up by Miro with 2 times already. From the first time was for the TNT title, Miro defended on Rampage, and the second time was for it was title versus Carr, and Miro won both. He kept his title and he won for Del Sol's Carr. And Sammy Guevara was tired of Miro bullying. So Sammy Guevara stepped up big time indeed. He took on Miro for the TNT championship. And Sammy Guevara did the impossible. Sammy Guevara utilized the turnbuckle. When the turnbuckle post was open, he utilized, hit Miro on the head. Sammy Guevara took over. And Sammy Guevara with the Spanish Fly wins the TNT championship. Sammy Guevara did it the first time in a long time that he has won gold. And Sammy Guevara winning the gold, winning for himself and winning for his friends. Sammy Guevara now the new TNT champion. You see right here, Sammy posing congratulations post from Sammy from Flair del Sol, who played an integral role in the match. A lot of people are still this tweet saying Broly smiling down. Even Booker T, Sammy's former mentor trainer when Sammy was little. You see right here, Sammy Guevara put in the hard work. And now Sammy Guevara, the new TNT champion. Booker T told him congratulations. Congratulations indeed. What this accomplishment means for Sammy Guevara. Also, too, what we said, Sammy Guevara, the new TNT champion. Also, too, was on hot. So that ends the Raw, the AEW Ring Report. Let's move forward. Let's move forward to Wrestling Hot Topics. On Wrestling Hot Topics, well, this is AEW related Wrestling Hot Topics. As Rose to the Top debuts, and it had Jade Cargill. It humanized, when you think about it, it humanized everybody on the show. It's like you're watching the behind the scenes interlinked workings of how AEW is run as a company. AEW is run, and you see right here, Jade stood out more to me. Like, she might be a female bad, you know what, Mama Jama, but Jade Cargill came out more relatable and stuff. Like, you know, she's human just like everybody else is human, and that made that point and clear with Jade and stuff. So kudos to Jade Cargill on that. Also, too, we found out that Broly's widow and brother created the Broly Foundation. So Broly is a nonprofit organization. So Broly's memory and legacy will live on in the hearts and minds of the AEW fans and the pro wrestling fans. Probably they don't never do stuff like that, but you know how that goes. So we'll talk about that on this coming weekend. All right, that does it for the AEW Ring Report. We found out Sammy Guevara is now the new TNT champion after defeating Miro. What goes from here with Sammy with his historic win? Also, to what's going on with MJF and Darby Allin? The only time we'll tell with that. So we got through a whole bunch today. So for me being Kendra Dick saying so long, we'll see you this weekend for the Pro Wrestling Show presents the SmackDown Ring Report and Rampage. Thank you and have